I don't think I've ever felt as live, and I've never had that kind of energy in my life for anything as when I was hunting 2020 hard, those 2 months. I don't know how to explain it. "2020 first appeared on us in 2019, summer of 2019, like late June, when I usually start putting my cameras on mineral blocks, and I started getting pictures of him, and immediately, like, my eyes were like, wow, that deer's gonna be something. He was, at that time, he was probably like a low 170s, high 160s. I believe he was a 6x5 with split eye guards and had some kickers and trash, and immediately knew he was going to be something special, and wasn't real sure what deer he was from the year prior. So when I first started getting pictures of him in the summer, of course they always look bigger than they are, and it's hard to tell their age unless you knew them from a previous year. So I thought he was 4-year-old. And in the year 2020 was when we would want to start hunting that deer. However, when he came out of velvet and I had some encounters with him, I realized that he was only a 3-year-old at that time. And it just didn't seem right to change his name. Although we knew we wouldn't hunt him in 2020. We were going to wait till 2021 if he was able to slip through the cracks. That's how he got his name. Brothers and I have just been bow hunting whitetails for 20 plus years, and all of us had been lucky enough to harvest big 4-year-old deer. And if you want to hunt giant deer, you have to let them get to age. And we've all come to the realization that you win some and you lose some when you do that. That's a huge gamble. There is a lot of hunting pressure around us, and we just decided that we absolutely were going to leave him alone until he was a 5.5-year-old deer. 5, 6, 7-year-old deer are prime, and if he did clear it, if he did make it to 2021, we were going to do everything it took to hunt him. But he had to make it, and it was nerve-wracking to say the least, but ultimately it paid off in the end. In 2019, I was able to have 6 or 7 different encounters. I mean, inside 20 yards, and those weren't all in the same area. That was in a 2-mile stretch. It seemed like everywhere I went, 2020 found me, and I was able to get some phenomenal footage.
Mid-60s to high 60s this year. It's a good deer.
And also that year, Tim Neville came and hunted with us, and he was informed that if 2020 did come underneath him, he was not to shoot him if he wanted to come back and hunt again. And what happened, I believe it was the very first sit, Tim and I were sitting about 300-400 yards apart, and I got a text right after the sun rose that morning that 2020 was right underneath him, and he sent me some pictures, and sure enough it was. And I think that was pretty hard for Neville to take, but he knew how serious we were and respected our wishes. In the fall of 2020, that was COVID. We did a Kodiak blacktail trip. So I didn't spend very much time other than running cameras in the summer, and I honestly didn't have that much evidence that he was in the area the summer of 2020. But I knew he would show up. I knew his summer range, and I couldn't really run cameras where he summered too much, so I wasn't that worried about it. So we went on the Kodiak blacktail trip. We got home from that, and I had started getting pictures of him, and I just avoided the area for a few reasons. I didn't want to show him any of the tricks. I didn't want him to figure me out, pattern me, getting in and out, when I knew I wasn't going to harvest him anyway. I wanted to leave him alone, let him have the run of the place. And I think it was the November 5th or 6th, I had only hunted maybe 2-3 sits, and I hunted here at the house, and I ended up killing a buck we called Davy. So my tag was filled, so I waited a week or so, and it took me 3 or 4 sits. I wanted to just go get some good footage of him, and it took me 3 or 4 sits, and I was lucky enough to have him come in exactly the opposite direction I was anticipating him coming in. He came in and gave me 12-yard shots all day. I actually had my longbow, I had a doe tag, and I was always hunting coyotes, so he came right in 12 yards, and I just filmed him, and then made a big 180 loop all the way around me and went to the bedding area, and I was able to slip out of there unscathed. That was pretty special. And at that point was when things got real. That's when I realized again just how special he was, and we were knocking on rifle season, and that's when I got the nerves hit, and I did everything I could do in my power and ethically to keep him alive. And luckily, there was a couple nights where I was just out cruising around, and there was a few hot does late in that early December area, and he was close to some rifle hunters, and I wouldn't even hit the brakes. I'd just cruise on by and just let the good Lord do what he does. And luckily he made it through the rifle season.
Well, I had 2 goals this morning. Obviously I'm already tagged out, my buck tag, and I only have 1 doe tag left in this unit. So I really didn't want to shoot a doe. I mean, I have my longbow with my new aluminum arrows that Gary Hall built me, flying great. I had 2 goals. One was to try to kill a coyote with my longbow, and I had 3 coyotes come in. They ran all the does out of there, which was fine with me, and they were hunting all around, and that one was just beautiful. So I kind of picked him, and they were hunting in and around, and I had to kind of turn my body to the right more than I'd wanted to. I couldn't get my feet shifted, and then my tree branch was in the way. But nonetheless, I should have made the shot. It was 20 yards. Freaking thought I did, and it just went right over the top of him. Beautiful. Beautiful arrow flight, I know that. But I was all pissy pants about that. My other goal was to give good footage in 2020. And I was sitting there texting Scott about missing the coyote, and I heard a stick break, and I looked over my right shoulder to my north. There that sumbitch stood, about 50 yards away, and he was coming right into my wind. Knock on wood, the thermals must have been decent. I showered this morning real good, but I got good footage of him. He came right in and around me. Took him a little while, but my God, he's a beautiful creature. Pray to God he makes it through rifle season, gets through this year, and we will have a fun season next year hunting. What a beautiful morning.
The summer of 2021, I did the same mineral blocks I always do, put up some cameras, and immediately, that would have been late June, immediately I started getting pictures of 2020. He was very undeveloped at the time, but you could absolutely tell it was him for a lot of reasons. He always had white socks on his legs, so that was one telltale sign. But started getting pictures of him, and that ran through July, and it's really hard to tell just how good a buck is going to be. And then, you know, towards the end of July, you can tell, and he absolutely blew up, and that was evident. Then it was late July, early August, he ghosted on me. We had some locals mow a path through the trees, through the timber where he had been bedding, to look at there's some 300-year-old trees in the area. And after they did that, he vanished. I don't know if it's related at all, but it's hard to think it's not. He vanished on me. I wasn't too worried that he was gone for good. I mean, I knew he would come back. And it was early October, the first week of October, when I started getting pictures of him again. And I hunted 2 or 3 sits, and I would not go into the core. I stayed away, just trying to figure out exactly where he was bedding. And I believe it was the first morning that I went and sat, maybe my 3rd sit, snuck in from the opposite side of the section from where I thought he was coming from, and I sat on a creek that ties into the river 300 yards from where I suspected he might be. And just as it started getting light, I could see a big body across, and I picked up my binoculars, and sure enough, it was him. And he was on the edge with a smaller buck making scrapes. And finally it got light enough, and he was still out there, and I was able to get some pretty good footage. It's from a distance, but it's really good footage, and that really lights the fire when you know he's in the area, you've got footage of him, and then you're able to get in, get footage, get some intel, and get out. So that was a great start to my October deer season. As I stated before, it seemed like I was just losing the chess match. I could not get myself in front of him to save my life, and at times you almost wonder, did he know I was hunting him? Did he know where I was coming in and how I was leaving, and was just bouncing around me? We started towards the middle of November. I was still grinding, going hard, exhausting every effort I could to get myself in front of him. And it was getting to be towards Thanksgiving time, and for whatever reason this last year we didn't have any east winds. It was very dry, and every wind we had seemed to be out of the west. And some of my best ambush points for 2020 were on a food plot that I'd been running for years, and it was clover, but I'd actually planted some wheat and turnips into it, and it had come up, and it was a pretty hot source, and he had been utilizing the area about every 3rd day. He would come through there, but I wasn't able to hunt it because of the wind directions. Finally, it got to the point where, it's Thanksgiving, rifle season's not very far away, and I felt like I didn't have a choice but to buck the wind a little bit. So I believe it was the day before Thanksgiving, I decided to give it a shot. I washed all my clothes. I took nothing with me except my bow, tree arm, and my camera. And I went in there, and I actually even dug out the old scintlock hood and went in there and was able to, my first test came, I had a bunch of does coming through the trees, and they were gonna walk right through my wind. As long as if they could make it to the plot, I was gonna be okay. But they had to cross me to get into that food plot. And sure enough, the first few does come through, and I could tell exactly when they hit my stream, my wind stream, and they just kind of stopped. Didn't walk up hard, looked around, and they checked the wind a few times. It's like they knew I had been there, but they weren't alarmed that I was there. And they filtered on through and went to the food plot. And then 5 minutes later, here comes another 3 or 4 does. And once deer are already in the plot, didn't seem like they had to be, they were able, they saw the deer, they saw that those deer were comfortable. They would come through my wind stream again, check it, but just real short, and make it to the plot. And that was a huge confidence boost when I was able to beat those does. And then some little bucks came through. No 2020 that night, but once I figured out that I can do that, you know, yeah, it made me pretty happy. Black Friday morning, I hunted the same stand. Not much happened. We all got out. My brothers, I believe, came to the house, and we had a little get together. And they said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going right back." I said, "I've got too many sits in a row, and the second I'm not there, he's going to come through there." And so Scott actually hunted 400 or 500 yards from me, and I went back to the same set, and the same group of does come back into the plot, and it wasn't 10 minutes after they were there, I could hear steps coming to the south, and you can just tell when it's a buck walking. And sure enough, I look to my south, and I see his right side, and he comes right into the food plot, and I shift my bow towards the scrape he was coming to, and he came to the scrape. He was on that scrape for a couple of minutes, and I was willing to shoot that direction. It was going to be a farther shot than I wanted, but I was afraid that he was going to go straight to that scrape and then go straight to the field, and I would have had a 25, 30 yard shot. Luckily, he decided to come right down the center of the plot. But I had to shift my bow and my feet and get my bow around the tree and around my camera arm and all that, and I was able to do that, and all those does were, very close to me. And he comes right into the food plot, right into the center of it. He was about 15 yards and stops and just scanning the whole area. And I, just as slow as I could, started drawing my bow, and I got the anchor, and he was still there. And I just remember picking that spot one last time, and the shot broke, and I watched that arrow just sink right into the 12 ring.
climbed down, got in this food plot. I thought I heard him expire. And I look over there and he's laying there dead 100 yards away. Oh my God. Thank you, Lord. That guy shot him right in the heart. I'm gonna call my brother. Oh my God. Oh my God. I killed him. I killed him. Hey, come, stay the field and come in on this west side. I haven't walked over to him yet. I shot him right in the heart. Haul ass, I'm gonna call Matt. Bye. Oh my God, this is a three-year deal. I left him alone. When I first started getting pictures of him, I thought he was 4 years old. So I named him 2020. That was in 2019. I did not want to hunt him. When I found out he was actually 4 or 3, obviously we weren't hunting him, had multiple encounters with him, had other buddies that I let hunt, and they got to see him and got to pass him up, and they were giving me hell about it. And then last year in 2020, I knew he was only 4 after finding his sheds, and again we left him alone, and he was like a 185-inch 9-pointer. And I knew this year was going to be gut-wrenching. I have awesome footage of him last year. Had a great encounter with him. And this year has been a bastard. I mean, and I where I needed to hunt him, the winds have been wrong. I mean, west winds like 20 days straight. There comes Scott running. 20 days straight. Finally, I said, piss on it. I gotta hunt it. I bucked the wind a little bit. It's rifle season's in like 5 days. But decided to hunt this set. If they got on the plot side of me, I was good. And sure enough, 4 or 5 does filtered in. I turned the camera and got it going. And he came to that scrape and hit it. And man, I wasn't able to move the camera into the shot angle. Sorry, but I wasn't moving. It's very calm. There he is. Scott's running. He's gonna be out of Brandon. Oh my God, I can't. This is like a dream.
Are you shitting me?
He's dead as a hammer.
Oh my God.
I don't even think I'm dreaming.
Dude, I couldn't believe you called me right now.
Well, usually when you get a phone call, in the heat of it.
It didn't register at me first. I picked up my phone, saw Nick White. Oh my God, before you even said anything.
Dude, he's laying over there. I can see him.
Good work, dude.
But I don't believe it. He's so big. I shot over the top of my camera, right here.
Oh my gosh.
That's where he was standing.
Holy cow.
I haven't even gone and looked at him yet. He went right through. Whatever, there it is. He went right past my trail camera.
Oh man.
There's probably blood on it.
I about threw up on the way over here, dude. Oh my gosh. You can see him from a mile away.
I killed him. Dead as a hammer.
He didn't make it 80 yards.
Well, get her ass out. We got partying to do. Oh my god.
That is a Monarch.
Huge buck.
And a freaking 12 ring.
Dead as a hammer. That is huge, dude. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, 2020.
What a run that was.
Oh my god. Is this real?
I don't know.
Is this real?
I don't know yet, dude. This is insane. Oh my gosh.
I gotta do my thing.
Look at that freaking frame in this picture. Holy crap. Dude, that tine is gnarly. I've never seen one like that.
Oh my god, Scott. Oh my god. Holy shit. That is huge.
This is exactly the way I wanted tonight to go.
Oh my god, and Chad's still here. He's gonna
Oh,
shit.
dude.
Have you told him?
I called him, I said, dude, he killed him. He goes, I'm going out. Oh my god. Not a broken antler. I dreamt that he broke half of his rack off last night. Dude,
Dreaming shit like that.
how often?
Until today, it's been awful.
I kept telling you, man, it's all or nothing. What happened right after we got in the stand
Let me send
tonight?
this to my wife. She's gonna be so. Dez, Dad, Matt. Last year, and he made it through last year. And, I mean, what do you got to do to slip through the cracks? An animal like that. As many hunters as there is these days.
Just need to be grateful we get 200 animal like this.
You can't even.
It's whatever happens, but the ability to do that. You want the Ranger? Do you want the Ranger? Or just a truck? You can get the truck to the food plot. Just drag him a ways.
Yeah, we can drag him out. We can at least give him that. Oh my god, what a specimen. Nothing is touched.
I know. Friggin' beautiful. What a gnarly... He just threw gnarly stuff this year. He was so clean last year. He might be hunting. Yeah, he's probably dark there.
Dark as hell there.
Did you kill him?
I killed him, bro.
Did you really?
I figured it was already dark there.
Well, I got a long walk back out.
Yeah. I sent you a picture.
Okay.
West Side food plot. I'm sorry I didn't get it on film, but he walked through the frame and I couldn't turn the camera.
Dude, don't worry about it.
I'm not.
Awesome. What'd you say?
I'm not. Oh, dude, he's big. He's bigger than I thought he was.
What time did you shoot him?
Like
20
40
minutes ago?
probably. 30
20.
minutes ago.
At the most. It's been...
Still out there right now?
Sitting here looking at him, haven't even moved him.
Holy shit.
I sent you a picture.
That's awesome.
Just a big ass 10. I don't even know how many points he has.
I haven't even counted.
Oh my god.
You go far?
No.
80.
Maybe 80 yards.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure I mean heart and lungs both. And that's all it takes.
That's awesome.
Black Friday buck, Tim. Rocket was on Black Friday also. Oh my god, I know. I mean, you go and you go and you go and you don't know if it's ever even a possibility. I mean, you know it's a possibility, but
Well, look how many
did
times.
you work hard enough? Did you make good decisions? I mean, and obviously I wasn't until tonight. I got, just couldn't get in front of him.
Yeah, it wasn't that the decisions were bad. It was just pure luck.
Sporadic freaking, he just everywhere. And I'm sure last year he was the same way, but we just didn't pay that much attention to him.
No, we were letting him go. We were just giving him space last year. It's unreal. Matt, you remember the blood trail of the elk he killed?
Really?
I can't run.
Guys, wait for me.
Look how far you can see him from.
Dude, where's he sitting?
Right there.
Just came right to the spot.
Right down. Perfect wind. Hey, freaking joking. Look at this blood water. Just when you're falling, sure, we'll see it all.
Look at that.
Oh, good.
Dude.
Oh, he's a freak. Scott, lay that bow.
When we come into the food plot in that south end,
Right here?
it was like of a real deer. You know what I mean? Where those come into the plot, and I could hear something coming back there, and I already had my bow in my hand.
Hop in there.
And the way
Nick,
those
behind him.
does looked back at him, and they started going, I'm like, that's absolutely him. You know, and then our mulberry tree where we used to have the blind, that's the first, I saw on the other side of that, I could see that right side, and I'm like,
Oh.
there he is.
Matt, how fast did you drive from your house?
I guarantee you, I just broke a record.
It just seemed like that arrow got to him, just boom. I mean, yeah, I had to shoot over the top of my camera, which was facing this way, but I got him coming into the plot, and I wasn't moving to get him. And I remember positioning my feet, and I got my back foot to the back of that blind because I had to get back away from the tree because I was shooting right past the tree, and I was shooting vertical, straight up and down. And I just remember it took me so long to get the full draw because those does, just being does, got him. His head went back like that, like he was alerted a little bit. And I just remember, I remember getting to my anchor, and I remember picking that hair and it just, I mean, you'll hear it on the audio.
I can't
you'll
wait to
absolutely
hear it.
that arrow hit me.
There we go. Brooke, you keep your face right in that little hole. Got it.
Stay there for a sec.
It's so warm.
Smile. Keep smiling.
Yeah, Desiree was stuck in the tree stand.
So that's awesome.
What do you girls think?
That's awesome.
Are you proud of your dad?
Yes.
I am.
I'm very proud of your dad too.
Now I can see you again. I haven't seen you girls in about 4 or 5 weeks. Hey. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever felt as alive, and I've never had that kind of energy in my life for anything as when I was hunting 2020 hard those 2 months. I was not sleeping much. I'd go to bed at 11 and I was literally up at 3 o'clock every morning. That's all that was on my mind. And of course, you still have a job to do. You have kids to feed. So I would get up and I would go to work, and I'd be at work by 4 o'clock, and I'd be taking care of all my computer work and get that out of the way so I could manage the day. And like I said, your brain is so wired on that one thing. I don't know if you call it nervous energy or what, but I don't know how to explain it.